He made $100 million, you know, and he's his own boss. He can say and do what he wants to do, having a great team.
Yeah.
Because no one person can do it by himself. That was the core of the team.
Gotcha.
You know, and it was a tremendous sacrifice, you know, especially for me. I worked like 15 years straight, 7 days a week, 20 hours a day.
Wow.
The whole middle part of my life,
Yeah.
it didn't exist. It didn't exist.
Now you have this egg on your face and things are falling apart. And people are wondering, did you get screwed or was it your own financial ignorance and now you're bitter?
People taking shots at a great fighter, Mayweather. Probably the same people that were, applauding him and saying how great he was at one point. Now they're taking shots at him like they're almost, like they get pleasure out of seeing a great fight.
You're right, but when you call yourself the money man, you do it to yourself a little bit too.
No, I can't argue with that.
Zarold B. recently weighed in on the claims surrounding Floyd Mayweather Jr. allegedly burning through a $1.1 billion fortune and facing financial issues. And according to him, none of it comes as a surprise. Having worked closely with Floyd for years, Ellerbe pointed to a lifestyle filled with extreme spending, suggesting that those habits may have played a major role in creating financial pressure over time.
From day one, what it is that, and then they know, everybody laughed at me. They laughed at me. They said, "Oh, he just talking nonsense." I've been told all of you guys.
Tobbins. Leonard Ellerbe explains that once Floyd Mayweather Jr. reached massive fame and success, criticism was always going to come with it. According to him, the real challenge isn't the success itself, it's how you deal with the pressure, the noise, and the opinions that follow.
At the end of the day, when you're on top, when you're at the top, you can expect criticism. It just comes with success. And it's all about how you handle things. And me personally, none of it's personal. None of it's personal.
Leonard Ellerbe says that Floyd Mayweather Jr. had the potential to build a powerful business empire beyond boxing, but only if he had approached his ventures with more focus and made smarter, more calculated decisions along the way.
Who formed his own company.
Right.
But he was the first one that had a team surrounded by him, that our focus was the business and his focus was the boxing. And in turn, we built the brand, built Mayweather Promotions.
Yeah.
And Floyd became his own boss.
Wow.
And that was
Logan Paul took a jab at Floyd Mayweather Jr., joking that he's still waiting on the $1.5 million he claims hasn't been paid from their exhibition bout.
Because he's still waiting on the 1.5 from Floyd Mayweather. He made this video simultaneous, a beef with Le'Veon, and I don't know, maybe it's coincidence, maybe it is.
Mayweather versus Manny Pacquiao 2. The fight nobody asked for except me. I need this because if Floyd wins, he can finally pay me my $1.5 million. I don't care about the legacy fight. I don't care that these men have a combined age of 100 years. I care that Floyd Mayweather, the best boxer alive, uses those same hands that made him 100 million to Venmo me my money. And Floyd, if you're watching this, win it and pay me back or I'm gonna send my goons after you. Gotcha. Hey.
Really don't know why I watched that. Yeah, listen, dude. Logan is, again, functionally a coward for not doing this. I was really excited for it, too. I couldn't wait. That was about to be content, son. But, I mean, okay, yes, I understand if he is under WWE contract, they're not going to allow him to do
Sorry or more. Teddy Atlas points out that many of the same people who once celebrated Floyd Mayweather Jr. are now turning on him, mocking and laughing as they watch what they see as his downfall.
Oh yeah, like you said, he was Mayweather, Money Mayweather, and now he's suing because he went through his money, he blew his money, whatever. Look, I don't know what the truth is fully in there. I know Steven Espinoza was named. He ran Showtime at the time. He was named him. I never was a fan of Espinoza. Again, I'm not afraid to say and not mince my words when I feel a certain way. And and I've taken arrows for it, and of course I've also taken some praise for it. That people say, hey, Teddy's going to say what he feels. I was never a fan of him. I never thought he was a man that kept his word. I never thought he really did a great job over Showtime. I mean, they put some good fights on because the fights were available, because the landscape made.
Whack 100 pushed back on the rumors about Floyd Mayweather Jr., saying he's far from broke. According to him, Floyd's real wealth isn't just money, it's peace of mind, staying unbothered by gossip and not letting outside opinions define his life or career.
You know where Floyd is rich at right now?
What's that?
His peace of mind. When I send him things, like I send you things when it's pertaining to you, when he gets the time, he'll call me and he say, hey, Wack, what's that? And I tell him, he said, that's nonsense. He said, well, as long as they trying to figure me out, they not gonna be able to figure out what they need to do. And he continues to move. I will say this without saying too much, that I've seen him pass on some big deals based upon the business he already has on the table. But again, I've been to his home, I talk to him regular. He's my business.
Found. Paulie Malignaggi argues that if Floyd Mayweather Jr. had kept his finances more private, far fewer people would be questioning his wealth today. But by constantly showcasing his money and lifestyle publicly, it naturally invited scrutiny and made people start digging deeper into his financial reality.
They were seeing how much Floyd was making, right? And Floyd himself was flaunting himself like he was the guy who was making that kind of money. And for all intents and purposes, I assume he was. Everybody assumed he was, and it seemed like he thought he was, because he wasn't complaining. He was showing off, you know? This is why, as I get older, I feel like, and everybody always tells you this when you're young, like, keep your finances private, you know, and this is why I think this is a big reason why. First and foremost, you notice that if you don't keep your finances private, everybody and their mothers ask you for money constantly, and they don't ask you for.
That happens either way.
And they don't ask you. Well, people assume you have money, but if you flaunt it, you definitely they confirm you have money. They don't ask you for money like you need to buy the Rolex or the Lamborghini. They'll guilt you into it. They need their mother's dying in the hospital. They need to pay for a funeral. Their kid is sick. Like, they guilt you into it, and you almost feel bad not.
On Tame. A boxing analyst takes a deeper look at the unexpected financial troubles surrounding Floyd Mayweather Jr., a man once known for proudly showcasing extreme wealth. Over the years, Floyd worked closely with figures like Steven Espinoza and the network Showtime, but now the situation has taken a dramatic turn. He's reportedly filed a $340 million lawsuit, alleging that significant earnings were withheld from him. Interestingly, his longtime advisor Al Heyman isn't directly tied to this legal dispute, but the overall picture is becoming more complicated as legal issues continue to stack up. At the same time, analysts point to Floyd's high-spending lifestyle as a possible factor. From luxury cars to expensive jewelry and even a private jet, the level of spending over the years may have added pressure behind the scenes.
We're gonna go through in this video. Now, I've been covering boxing for double-digit years. Allow me to take you through it. A simple Google search shows Floyd Mayweather. You type in his name, you're gonna see some fight photos and whatnot. But the top stories, and there's multiple stories, and we're gonna take a look at some of them. But as mentioned, Business Insider is now reporting what you see on the screen, that Floyd Mayweather is being accused in lawsuits of owing millions of dollars for luxury watches, gold, and rent on palatial apartment, right? The bullet points. Floyd was sued for allegedly failing to pay rent on a luxurious duplex.
Arium, high-end apartments, sky-high rent, and mounting unpaid bills began stacking up, and soon after, legal trouble followed. Reports claim that a Miami couple who owned a condo Floyd rented accused him of falling behind on nearly $500,000 in rent. While payments were made at first, it's alleged that communication eventually stopped when it came time to settle the remaining balance. According to analysts, this reflects a larger pattern tied to Floyd Mayweather Jr. heavy spending, questionable financial management, and depending on others to handle major money decisions. Over time, those factors may have started to catch up with him. The broader takeaway is clear. Fame and massive earnings don't automatically guarantee long-term stability. Even elite athletes can run into serious financial trouble if their wealth isn't managed carefully.
Some represents the 500K, 500,000 in arrears plus late fees minus a deposit that Mayweather paid at the start of the lease and the $100,000 catch-up payment. So they deducted what he did submit when he was made aware of this, the $100K, and I guess a deposit. So the remaining balance is that. An attorney for Mayweather did not provide a comment by deadline. He has not responded to the lawsuit in court. In a separate legal matter, so we've already went over one with this luxury condo in Manhattan, right? But a separate legal matter, a Miami jeweler sued Floyd Mayweather last month, alleging the boxer owes more than $1 million for jewelry that he took but never paid for.
Barbie Emil Ignaggi and Chris Algieri break down how Floyd Mayweather Jr., despite earning massive amounts, could still run into financial trouble. Malignaggi points out how hard it is to comprehend someone operating at Floyd's level losing track of such huge sums. He compares everyday luxury spending like buying a Ferrari or expensive jewelry to Floyd's financial scale. Those kinds of purchases might not matter much on that level, but the real concern is the size of the money flowing in and out behind the scenes. Algieri adds another layer, explaining that during the peak of Floyd's career, even losing track of income from a single fight could mean millions gone. And when those kinds of oversights happen repeatedly across multiple events, the losses can stack up fast and turn into serious financial issues.
I don't know, like there's guys who have a lot of money, okay? For me, I could go into a jewelry store, spend 20,000 at the time, like nothing. Like, you know what, I didn't plan on going there. I bought a Ferrari. I went to with my friend to go check out a Ferrari he was gonna buy. I went there and I'm like, I got this in my account, I could buy this right now. You know, like that, you know? And I'm not saying that's smart, but what I'm saying is,
your accountant must have loved you.
yeah, really. But what I'm saying is, I got good money for that when I sold it. I gotta be honest.
I'm just
Hey, the used car market came back at the time. But anyway, what I'm saying is, it could go like that, okay? That kind of money. But bro, $340 million? That's not Ferrari, but that's a lot of Ferraris, a lot of houses.
But Floyd had a lot of Ferraris, and that's the thing about Floyd. Like, yes, is that way too much money? Yes, that's a crazy amount.
Paulie Malignaggi draws comparisons to past cases in boxing history, pointing to figures like Mike Tyson, who also experienced major financial setbacks due to poor management and being surrounded by people who took advantage of their wealth. Both analysts emphasize that the situation involving Floyd Mayweather Jr. didn't develop overnight or suddenly appear years after his peak earnings. Instead, they suggest it reflects a longer process of financial oversight issues and ongoing reviews of his accounts. The discussion ultimately highlights a broader reality in combat sports. Even massive fame and historic earnings don't automatically guarantee long-term financial security, even for the biggest names in boxing.
Of an entire fight person, more than one fight, multiple fight
at the height of your career.
$340 million. There's nights where you didn't make that much money in a night.
But we heard about stuff like this with Mike Tyson back in the day. Yeah. Big money losses, people taking advantage of him, a number of different things. Now, all that being said and done, 10 years is the point. That is the major point of all of this. Because when you look about this now, 10 years, where does this come from? It makes me think that someone's gotten in his ear. And maybe, where does this come from out of nowhere? Is he going through the books now, 10 years later? No, of course not. Someone else is. Someone else is probably telling him, hey man, this is like this, this is like that. So you think
it did happen?
I don't know. I think someone, regardless of whether it happened or it didn't,
that's what I'm wondering.
Unless it's coming out of nowhere, unless he literally is just getting just
he's losing his mind because there's a lot of rumors about him losing money, right?
Losing money, being I don't want to say destitute, but the old saying, the mighty is how.
Dan Raphael says it shouldn't come as a surprise that Floyd Mayweather Jr. is being linked to financial concerns after his boxing career. According to him, anyone who closely followed Floyd's journey could have seen this coming, mainly because his spending habits were never hidden. His lifestyle was on full display private jets, luxury cars, expensive vacations, and non-stop showcases of wealth. Raphael explains that Floyd operated on a financial scale most people can't even imagine, and unlike many athletes, he made sure the world saw it all through interviews, social media posts, and public appearances.
The fact that Floyd would encounter some financial issues post his boxing career is not in any way a surprise to me. When you see the types of things that, if you believe anything that he puts on his social media, the travel that he does, the places he goes, and and the amount of entourage he has. I mean, that's like a money pit. I mean, whether you're flying on private jets or you're staying at first class hotels or you're, buying expensive jewelry and cars and bags and you name it. I mean, it's all good when you're making those gigantic paydays and they're coming in, a couple times a year. You're making 40 million here and 25 million there, or even more, 100 million plus, when he fought the big mega fights with guys like Conor McGregor and Manny Pacquiao. But when that stops, that money doesn't, it goes.
Dan Rafael emphasizes that this type of spending behavior can make financial problems almost unavoidable over time. Even for someone as wealthy as Floyd Mayweather Jr., he explains that when earnings are paired with constant high-level spending luxury travel, expensive assets, and a lifestyle that demands significant ongoing costs, large fortunes can shrink much faster than people expect. From his perspective, Floyd's life was always highly visible, with non-stop displays of wealth through media, social publics. That level of extravagance comes with long-term financial pressure that isn't always obvious from the outside. Rafael ultimately frames it as a broader lesson for athletes and celebrities. No matter how much money is earned, overspending and poor long-term planning can create serious consequences. In his view, it's this combination of lifestyle expenses and financial management that explains why concerns around Floyd Mayweather's finances have surfaced, despite a career filled with record-breaking paydays.
About the 340 million, it just didn't ring true to me, because Al Heyman, who is not named in the suit, but apparently is supposedly part of this problem, whatever. But I mean, I've known Al Heyman and covered Al Heyman's fighters and his business since the day he stepped in boxing in like 2002 with Vernon Forrest. And all that time, and literally in terms of the PBC, a couple hundred fighters that he's dealt with, maybe not personally, but that his team is and his company. To a fighter, you never hear anybody, even when they're retired and they're not with Al anymore, nobody talks bad about him. In fact, if you ask most fighters, they'll tell you how good to them that he has been, that type of money that they've helped him make, and the person that he's paid, and the guy.
For trainer Fannin breaks down the recent legal moves involving Floyd Mayweather Jr., explaining that after reports of financial strain, Floyd has taken legal action against former business associates. According to Fannin, even though Mayweather reportedly earned over $1 billion during his undefeated career, he now claims that a significant portion of that money never fully reached his personal accounts. The lawsuit is said to involve Showtime and its former president Steven Espinozo, with allegations tied to
According to TMZ, let's get to the TMZ. Floyd Mayweather sues Showtime, saying, "I'm missing hundreds of millions of dollars." Floyd Mayweather Jr. says he made over $1 billion in earnings over his legendary career, but the 50-0 fighter claims all the money didn't make it to his bank account. He is now suing Showtime, claiming they played a big role in his ex-manager screwing him out of hundreds of millions of dollars. In the lawsuit filed by Floyd in California and obtained by TMZ Sports, Mayweather says he's gunning to recover hundreds of millions of dollars in the misappropriated funds and damages resulting from long-running and elaborate financial
teens that earning gutter, a water either see meme. Daily Mayweather, their guttings. When Mayweather's tweeted for to Floyd Mayweather Jr., according to the claims, when Mayweather's team later requested access to financial records from Showtime, they were told the documents were either none their read preteamed, which further intensified concerns about possible financial wrinkles. Analyst Fanald Breakins where I canned. Analyst Fannin points out the situation highlights it came. But eggs grow
those parties to see whether or not this is something that Floyd should have known about, or did know about, or maybe did not understand. Because it seems very, very funny that Floyd would not know that the money was getting paid to Al Heyman and not directly to him. Regardless, I don't know the outcome of that. I will talk about this though. The absolute blatant karma up in Floyd Mayweather's face for all the smack he talked about Muhammad Ali and how Muhammad Ali's name was only worth $50 million and he sold half of his name for $50 million and how he's made so much more money and that makes him all of that. Talked about how Muhammad Ali, I'm sure, or I don't know if he did, but I'd heard, talked about Floyd. Yeah, he did, because he talked about his money and how he had to sell his name because he didn't.
Teens Arrowers. Whack 100 says Floyd Mayweather Jr. remains completely unfazed by outside noise or social media speculation, especially since he doesn't personally engage with or manage those platforms himself. According to him, much of Floyd's wealth is structured through various business channels, such as trusts, corporate entities, and investment setups, which means his assets aren't always visible in a straightforward public way. Whack 100 argues this can create misunderstandings, even if financial security is still firmly in place behind the scenes. He also adds that Mayweather appears satisfied with his lifestyle and confident in his financial position, regardless of public assumptions. Beyond money, Whack 100 emphasizes that Floyd's sense of wealth also comes from personal fulfillment, especially family life. He points to moments spent with his grandson as an example that, for Floyd, stability and happiness go beyond just financial numbers.
On out there, it's phasing him, but get to him. He doesn't even control his social media. He doesn't see it. I'm telling you, he doesn't see it.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like he's posting himself. He has someone that
he doesn't see it. He doesn't pay any attention. When I need something done, I have to send it through different channels for it to get done. But no, he's definitely not. I mean, we know that. He has tons of businesses going on. They were making accusations that he didn't own the things he owned. You're not gonna find nothing in Floyd's name directly. You're not gonna find, when you're dealing with that type of money and those type of situations, you know this, Vlad, it's set up. It could be a foundation, a trust.
Yeah, shell companies, corporations, LLCs, whatever.
I know some of these people that they'll say they own 40 different companies, but what it is, they're part of an investment.
Nanners, that's it for today's video. Stay tuned. Until next time, stay sharp, stay locked in, and I'll see you in the next one.